Hey guys, this is Eric Crownover from Nerdy Geek Talk, the source for all your nerdy geeky needs, here with episode 4 of Why Eric Why, and this one is Why Do I Like Podcasts? So, podcasting is probably the most recent thing that I've actually had in terms of the things I'm discussing. Everything else is I've gotten involved with beforehand, toy-wise, stuff like that, and Transformers. Podcasting is probably the most recent. I've been into podcasting for a little bit now, listening, not necessarily doing it myself. That's somewhat, well, very recent compared to other people, but somewhat recent in terms of years. But yeah, so why? There's a couple reasons. Mainly, I like the education from it. I feel that now, again, you can watch other videos that have the specific goal of educating you on certain topics, stuff like that. But the thing that you get with podcasting that you don't get, I'm talking relative to Transformers to me, but in general, is that you get knowledge that you aren't necessarily expecting or going in. Like if you look up an educational video on Transformers, chances are you're going to look up a topic, you're going to watch it, and it's going to be about that topic. If you watch an episode of a podcast, they could talk about a range of different things, whatever they want, really, because it's a podcast. It's whatever they want to do. Um, Many different things can come up, things that you didn't expect, even realize existed, stuff like that that you would have no idea to look for, and now you can go and look for. So I don't see videos as pointless because I see them as almost supplemental because you can go and chase those things once you are made aware of things that you didn't know of by podcasts. Um, like certain toys, certain things that happen in the fandom, stuff like that, that you're not just gonna know on your own to go look for. So yeah, that's a huge part is the education and the fact I like just the way it works through there in terms of surprising me versus me searching for a video that I know what I'm getting into. I like the not knowing what I'm getting into almost. Um, Another thing is I really like the different perspectives of all the people. Now, if you watch a video, chances are it's by one person. You can watch multiple videos, which give you multiple different perspectives, but still, that's going through a lot of different videos trying to get different perspectives. With a podcast, you have several people on at once, and you're getting that perspective there. So you have people that, I mean, not every podcast does, but some podcasts have people that are relatively new to the franchise, so they know very little. So if you don't know something about what's being talked about, they don't either. And so, but for their uh, gain, it's talked about, and then it's explained for them, and therefore explained for you, stuff like that. There's people that know way more than you, so they can inform you lots of different stuff. There's people that think different than you, have different thought processes, different ideas, different opinions, and so it can be interesting to hear their perspectives on certain things, whether it be news or past events. Um, and that's something that you don't really get in videos because it's one person making a video, which can be good to keep the focus there because sometimes podcasts can get unfocused. But I prefer having multiple viewpoints that I can, listen to all of them and just decide what I like. Another thing is I really like the length. Now, most videos are pretty short if you're going to watch educational videos or just videos about Transformers in general. They're probably going to be shorter than a podcast. Depends on the podcast, but podcasts tend to be longer depending on where you listen to again. But um, a video, you watch it and you process everything that's happening, and then it's over in just a few minutes, and so you're kind of just left there and you move on. With podcasts, you have an hour, you invest time into it, and so it sinks in a bit more because it's talked about and it relates to other things that they're talking about if they're doing the podcast well. But yeah, so there's that. Also, I like the fact that podcasts aren't necessarily super visual. Now, a lot of podcasts will have show notes, stuff like that, where you can go and look at what they're talking about. And I do appreciate that. But a lot of podcasts, you're just listening to the audio. And so you can be doing other things while you do that. And I like to mess around with Transformers, stuff like that. Maybe do tasks and other things, but I can still listen to it. So I can get multiple things done at once while still listening to things that I enjoy, which, therefore makes me in a better mood while I'm doing all these other things. So it just all around helps. Um, do you tend to lose a little bit of focus if you don't have that visual aid in front of you? It depends on the kind of person you are. If I was watching it, like, if I'm watching a live stream of a podcast, I'm going to pay more attention to it than if I'm listening to it while I'm doing a bunch of things around my room, stuff like that. Like, it. if I'm only focusing on that, then yeah, of course I'm going to pay more attention, but I still pay a pretty decent amount of attention when I'm just listening to the audio and getting other things done. And so I like having that option, whereas for a video, a lot of the things can be, not all videos, a lot of videos, you can listen to just the audio too, but a lot of videos also have important visual elements, whereas podcasts, not so much if you know what they're talking about. If you don't know what they're talking about, then visual elements can be needed, but overall, you're pretty much just listening to what they have to say. So just to recap, the reasons why I like podcasts is the education. I really just like how much you learn, and also the fact that it's not what you expect all the time. It can be surprising what you learn, things that you weren't even aware of that now you can go learn about. Also the different perspectives. I love having different perspectives from multiple people. And also I like it being longer because I like it to be more of my time, and therefore I remember more of it and just more impactful for me. And then also I like that it isn't visual because I can get other things done while doing it, but it still keeps my attention. So that's pretty much it. I may do another episode. It's not going to be the next episode or two, but maybe after that, where I describe why I like to podcast myself. But that is another one for another day, not this week or next week. So thanks for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and that's about it. Bye.